Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fester, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Monday, January 12th, where we dust off the late night update logo and we start branching into more things than just UFOs. Well, we've been doing this. It's kind of a soft launch, but we're going to have a fun time anyway, my friends. Let's go ahead and see. Yeah, we got an interesting story coming from a whistleblower from Skywatcher. Can't wait to see where that interview is going to go, friends. On that note, let's go ahead and welcome in our audience. Who in the heck do we have out there? Let's take a look and see. We've got Amanda, Amiga Rules, April's there along with Brains. I see Christine Lynn, Craig Smith, CW Bet B, good to see you, my friend. Delta Echoes here along with Dennis Benke. We got Dragon Rider FPV, Eliza Teal, Firefly, Gene Sticko's out there along with Geraldine Durazio, Grateful Benny, Jessica's there along with Joey Spades, Kathy, Kelly Burrell with those piercing blue eyes. Good to see you, Kelly, as always. We've got Marcus and the Mandels. Good to see you, my friends. Litsky's here, Meninopolis. We also have Metal Gaming 420. How about that? I wonder what he's smoking, my friends. Nathan Forrest here along with Rainstorm Hunter. We got Moose. Wait for those cookies, my friend. Randy Robert John's here along with Renato. We got Roni Deals, Sam, Scooby Dooby Gooby. He's been here for hours waiting for the show to start. We got Stephen Forbes, Steve Mateo, Super Unknown, Tenbris Anima, the Chromosome Cowboy from the United Kingdom is here along with the Wasteland. We got Turtlehead 420, Whoopi T. Wowzers, holy cow, Wild Underwood's here along with Yellow Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy. And on that note, I am going to jump into the chat. Mike, how the hell are you?
I'm doing well. We're going to have a fun show for everybody tonight. There really is a lot to talk about.
Oh, my God. Yeah, there is. You know, I have to say this, though. I have to be honest to our audience. The reason I dragged out the late night update logo and stuff is because I went on Twitter today, like we usually do, or X, whatever you want to call it. Old habits die hard.
Yep.
Not even just doom scrolling, just trying to see what the hell is going out there in disclosure. Yesterday, there was some stuff that I went and filled up my feed with, but my God, this is like the deadest I have seen it in like over 5 years. It's crazy.
It seems to be dying on the vine.
Dying.
There's no forward momentum.
No, man, we're not talking about grapes dying on the vine. We got fucking raisins.
No, we're not even getting that with disclosure.
Oh, I know. Well, we've got some things to cover. We're going to keep on covering it. Hey, even Ross Colhart is back to his old digs again over on YouTube, starting up his own live stream again because News Nation appears to be toning down what they've got him covering.
Because there's not a lot to cover on this topic right now.
Oh, you say, really? Wow, I never would have guessed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what can we say? But you know what, Moose, I've been giving you cookies. You want some of this stuff now too? You're not going to eat it, but I'll give it to you anyway. I got dog here wants on treat patrol. There you go. Have those. If you don't like
but every
those,
day it seems like we're inching closer to a second civil war in this country. And fires burning all around the world.
Oh God, we've got troops being brought to the southern border on the Mexico side, preparing for the United States invasion. We've got an unbelievable amount of people coming together up in Alberta saying, we're tired of this fucking shit. We don't want to be part of this carny mess. And they're signing petitions and they want to get the hell out of Canada. So there's a lot of things going on. United States is, what do you want to call it, gone and issued warnings to get the hell out of Iran for any citizens and or if you were there, shelter in place. Gee, I wonder what that means, Mike.
It means they need to hide, run and hide, if they don't want to get killed.
Oh, we got videos for all this kind of stuff and everything. So before we get into a bunch of things we're going to talk about today, let's get this first video up here. Hopefully we'll do okay. Not sure exactly where it's from, but you know what? What we have here is the bombshell whistleblower Jordan Jozak from Skywatcher reveals he was a child psionic asset in secret U.S. government programs communicating with non-human intelligence via an AI interface back in the day called SILVIA. So let's watch this clip and take a deep listen to it and see where we wind up when we're done, eh, Mike?
Yeah, exactly. Let's get the show on the road.
All right, here. Well, it already is, but here, let's play this video. Let's get it up and going. Let's just be safe because we're not exactly sure completely exactly where it's coming from. Oh, fair use top. There we go. Let's go ahead and get it going. Here we go, folks.
My name's Jordan Jozak. You may know me from the recent Skywatcher series, where myself, among other folks like Jacob Barber, gave testimony about our experiences in covert and compartmented programs. That was last year, August. I gave testimony in that video where I described my first-hand experience with non-human intelligence and the affiliated technology. Today is October 13th, 2025, and to date,
just want to point out, Mike, interesting as a kid, he was dealing with some kind of technology with AI that they're getting him to talk to the non-human intelligence. But that also directly almost lines up what was going on with Skywatcher when they had that technology called the dog whistle.
Right. No, it's a good point. You're right about that.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
No one from Congress has contacted me. So, I figured I'd like to tell my own story this time. Instead of going on big shows where everyone's trying to control a narrative and present their own flavor of the same pie, I think it's time we have an honest conversation about what's actually going on. And the truth is, it's not easy to explain. In fact, I'm not even sure if I know how to exactly explain it. But here's the basics. If you watch the Skywatcher series, you saw me claim that I was in a psionic exploitation program between the years of 2005 and 2010. And if you're looking at me and trying to do the age comparison, well, you're right. I'm age 30. In 2005 and 2010, I was ages 9 and 14.
Oh, wow.
This is one of the difficult things that we're going to have to navigate if we desire disclosure as a nation. There are very uncomfortable truths regarding the past programmatic nature of the program itself. And quite frankly, I didn't ask for any of this. I was scouted within the school system through the Gifted and Talented Education Network. In 2005, I began a relationship with...
Well, Mike, you know that if they were trying to recruit people from the Seattle area within the last 5 years, they're going to have a hard time because they shut down the Gifted and Talented programs because they found they had too many white and Asian people in it.
That's, yeah, lovely, Thomas.
Oh, well, just pointing out the truth. If there were programs that found people like him, they're not going to be finding him if they're in Seattle anymore, unfortunately.
That's true.
Psychologists would come into my school district, and I would begin to become separated from the rest of my classmates. This continued on, our relationship when my parents were not fully given the truth of why I was seeing a psychologist or why the school district was recommending that I would see them after hours. But this relationship progressed for a few years. What was happening during that time was I was progressing.
Audience is getting an echo. That's coming from me. Let me fix the audio. Sorry, audience. We turned down the audio in the studio, so if it is echoing, I apologize. Turn it down, and you should be fine. All right, here you go.
Through the outer areas of a psionic recruitment program that, to my knowledge, has been running throughout the United States for some time. You don't have to look too far to look back at Gifted and Talented Education Initiatives, as well as TAG, Talented and Gifted Initiatives as well. The problem being is not all of that is bad. However, for those that are familiar with how intelligence operations work, they work covertly. They work through channels that carry plausible deniability. And that was the nature of what happened to me. In 2008, I was progressing and excelling within the program to the point that they removed me from the public school district. And for 2 years, I attended school at what seemed like a very normal, lockdown, scan in, scan out, off-site facility. My parents were just told that I was going there to get better. I just needed mental health treatment. But what they didn't know is that facility was a cover for a much larger program where I interacted with non-human intelligence and its associated technology. I interacted with a piece of technology known as SILVIA within the program. And that's where things get very difficult. Up to this point, the conversation within the Disclosure Network has been solely focused on the nuts and bolts characteristics, the UAP, the tech.
Mike, I have to say this really quick, just going ahead and interjecting here. That's one thing that Lou Elizondo has been really focused on in it, and he's been focused on the nuts and bolts of this, not necessarily the psionic, the consciousness, the whole abduction thing.
No, you're absolutely right about that. Because Lou didn't want to put the cart before the horse.
Right.
He wants to get to the basics before we go any deeper down that rabbit hole. Which makes sense, actually, to the public.
It should.
Yeah, it does to me.
Yeah. All right. Is the echo any better, audience? I've been screwing with stuff a little bit here to make sure that it's not echoing. Is Mike echoing still at this point? Mike, do a sound check for us.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Any echo? Any reverb? How is everything sound?
And how's this? Testing 1, 2, 3, audience. We just want to get this nailed, so we're fine. They're all saying it's better. Now, here's the thing. There is horrible noise in this. There is terrible static in the background that we have no control over.
Right.
So when he's talking about this stuff,
it's not us.
I'm sorry, but okay. So everyone's saying we're better. So let's continue on. Sometimes you just have to do audio checks and I've had mistakes. We've seen a lot of people with mistakes, and it's better just to stop and correct it. Okay. No echo. Thank you, Renato. Perfect.
Flying saucers and everything else imaginable in the materialistic sense. But there's a big missing link in how we navigate this. And that missing link is consciousness. We need to have an honest conversation about ourselves. Psi has been a missing link, not only within science, physics, but just our overall advancement and evolution as a human species. Components of the program are well familiar that consciousness is non-local. And what does that mean? Well, it means that our essence is more than our body.
Right.
We can have out-of-body experiences.
100%.
And we can perhaps imprint or even affect the reality around us. So what does that mean?
He's calling it out. We are more than nuts and bolts. We are more than just the flesh that makes us up. They're learning more about the communication between ourselves. Finding there's bio communication that happens even between all the cells in our body. There's a lot of things. You look at viruses, different stuff. It looks like little machines and stuff. They're producing stuff. What we understand for consciousness and out of body and all that stuff is kind of out there in the ether. And I think he's hitting on a point that, yeah, we're much more than just the bio-electrical meat suits that we run around in. There's something else that makes all life on this planet special. Here we go.
That means that you are very much in control of your own reality. Your thoughts do become things, and the whole age-old addict of the secret or manifestation is, in my mind, things that are very true, and things that I was trained on to exploit within the program. See, we weren't doing things like getting in a secret spaceship or going to underground bases and meeting with aliens. We were using consciousness technology that engaged with us, and they needed very special kids to do that. Within the program for those 2 years, I worked with autistic non-speakers, and the abuses that I saw committed were disgusting. While I was a kid...
This is where they need to get, if this really took place, and why isn't Congress talking with him? If these abuses took place and it was through the IC, through the DOE, through the military.
The MK Ultra hearings they had in Congress in the 1970s, we're describing the activity that he's touching base on right now.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It led to the 1975 Church Commission as a result of those activities. Now he's saying what? This is something that's still currently ongoing. Yeah, Congress should get involved. That's a good point, Thomas. Again.
Even if it was as recent as 20 years ago, do you think the government would have stopped?
Oh, hell no.
No. And even if they tell us that they stopped, do you trust them?
No, of course not.
Fuck no.
No, this was going on in the 1960s and 70s. They originally did it with MK Ultra in Canada. That's how they got away with it. And then it all came out in the 70s. And allegedly at that time, after the Church Commission, the CIA was reined in and not allowed to operate within continental U.S. or on American citizens. So, but that tells me that was 50 years ago. Yeah, I don't think anything's changed, Thomas, to be honest with you.
I mean, back in the mid-70s, Colonel Alexander brought up in conversations about that SILVIA mind control was being used to find people with talents, even kids, to bring them forward to be used in their stuff back then. I mean, if you remember, if you look back in time, he was involved with, the Stanford Research Institute. You were talking about, the movies they made about it, Men Who Stare at Goats.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, you go to his house, and it's
Which you did.
Several times. You go to his house and you're looking at all this stuff that's everywhere displayed, and it's not just like it's from his travels all around the world. And he's been to some amazing places to see some amazing stuff, but it's like all the good stuff that was too good to make its way to the museum, and it's all related to it. His wife is phenomenal ufologist as well. So either way, let's get back to this. Yeah, there's stuff to what he's talking about here. Here we go.
Who had a voice and could use my body. I could kick and scream when the experiments were getting bad. But for those that were non-speaking or non-moving, they had a much more difficult time. And there needs to be a serious investigation into this programmatic nature. Now, what is the program? Well, that's a whole other problem. Most people understand this component of a legacy program, which in my mind is exactly how the beginning started. However, more recently, every single agency has got their hands on either some aspect of this research or some aspect of the program itself. While everyone would love to think that there's a centralized, beautiful little board that has all this compartmented and they're just not releasing it, the real truth is shit is so much more messy than that. Let me tell you. I don't know exactly what the pathway forward is here, but we need to really rapidly scale up our research into consciousness. And I think right now AI is providing us the ability to take a rapid step. We don't need our government to tell us what we already know.
Well, the truth. Well, I need to step in on this one. Laura, you there? This is kind of in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, this is such synchronicity. Earlier this morning, I accidentally happened upon a website. It was so strange. I was looking up a gentleman's name, and what came up was a misspelled version, but it linked to a site that's in Boston area, actually. It's esp.mit.education, edu. And they call it MIT ESP, but ESP is kind of actually stands for their educational studies program. But you could kind of take it two ways. What was interesting and pulled me in were the classes. They're taught volunteers from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, to students, but the age range was started pretty young, went up to high school. They had different brackets for these classes, but the description of the classes, especially the mathematics, science, were high level, almost like you'd see college level education. Interstellar empires, talking about discuss models for empires compatible with known physics, dealing with interstellar transport communication. It was pretty mind blowing. So check it out. Grades 7th through 12th. We weren't learning that in 7th grade.
But
so what's going on there?
With where he's coming from on this, he wants to bring it out. He wants to bring the consciousness part out and bring it forward and make it something to share what the truth is. But bring the cameras in, mic people, take the process of remote viewing or whatever process they're going through to get into this state of mind as they're talking, as they're communicating, and all the different stuff through it, and make it public. Make it something that people are familiar with. There's that secrecy, that curtain that that basically gets pulled to where we can't see what's really going on. But if they want us to start getting to that point and not just seeing them doing their stuff, but then the results and other stuff that go beyond it, to show the connection of what the human is initiating through conscious, not technology. We have our own bio-quantum computer in here for what goes on, but we're taking combined us, and we're interacting and doing something. That just needs to be shown.
I think the telepathy tapes, season 2, doing a much better job of that, proving it. But just because it's not known in general society doesn't mean that the proofs haven't been found. There were white papers done on this years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But do people know about it? No.
And there's a lot of papers. There's a lot of stories about it. But it's nothing that people can physically watch and understand and see what goes on to get these results and the whole end-to-end process. You have to be able to share it to them and maybe get them to understand it and to buy into it. Otherwise, it's just talking about a story and the results versus seeing the process and knowing it's I guess it's not scientific or chemistry based or anything, but what we're kind of talking about is something that's a process that you go through with mind, body, and spirit in order to get to a particular level, in order to start interacting with something and then being able to communicate out of that mind state back to the consciousness and keep it rolling and do everything else. There's a lot that flows into it.
And the tough thing is they haven't... They claim that they were going to bring out a lot of this information at the end of the year, which of course they have not. And they said what stopped them was doing all the research, because they're compiling all the data, which is vast. So that's what their big complaint is. Well,
but
don't
really
make
quick,
promises you can't keep.
Remember the movie A Terror in the Sky that came out years ago?
Correct. Carolyn Corey, yes.
Carolyn Corey was a director on that, and then you had like Kevin Knuth and Matthew Sudeikis along with I forget their imaging guy whose name I can't remember. Tim, if you can shout in. They had imaging guys and everything to bring it all together, and David Mason,
Skinwalker Ranch.
Dave Mason was there. He was part of it and everything, but with all the results they've gotten, they still haven't released all the data. And they were supposed to release the data within a number of months when they were done with it. But we're talking years now. But apparently, based on what Kevin Knuth and Sudeikis have been saying, stuff did take place, but it's hard if the data isn't open sourced for everybody.
Right. Well, those two guys are still going to be working at it with that great funding they have now from that wonderful concrete company. So I'm hopeful for those. They got funding from a concrete company.
I know they were in they're in coordination with the university somewhere on the East Coast, and they got the name UAPX back with it again by the initials of different parts of it. But cool to hear they got funding from a concrete guy.
Yeah, he just was interested in the topic, and he's wealthy and generous, and it's one of the type of funding that self-funds itself. So it's an investment that is unending. Yeah. The best kind you can get.
Oh, God, yeah. So especially if it's on the East Coast and it's coming from concrete. Mike, do you think they could be Italian?
Actually, they're from the South, I think, or Midwest, South.
Yeah, Laura's right.
Yeah.
I'm joking because of the old days of the mafia in charge of the concrete and the whole thing. And
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. Cool insight. Thank you very much, Laura. This is just a fun part to have come up in our conversation.
Truth is out there, and there's many individuals like myself who are trying to find their voice to bring this to others. None of us want problems. None of us want to burn down the system, and none of us are sitting here on a soapbox telling you that you should feel bad for me. In fact, my story is much different. I did go through hell. Many other kids went through hell, and we worked firsthand in these programs at a young age. From that point forward, you either went further into the DoD establishment or you stayed on the outside, which I did for many years. I stand here today to take a stand, to challenge all of us to think differently. And that's why I'm launching 3 crowd-funded projects: Night Under the Stars, the Telepathy Center, and Legacy Voices. I first want to talk about Legacy Voices. There are many people like myself with first-hand knowledge, psi protocols, first-hand experiencers, and a whole untapped community of experiencers, of people experiencing things like direct contact or altered states of consciousness with shared messages and synchronicities. It's clear that there's something like an awakening potentially happening to human consciousness, and we're still focused on drones. What if all of this is a wake-up call for us to think differently and to think bigger? So that 3-part process, Legacy Voices, is designed to give voices to those that have credible information and first-hand experiences. We want to leverage AI to do pattern recognition, to bring whatever intuitive information can be gleaned that could potentially further resources as we begin to look into the aspects of the phenomenon. It's not just consciousness, it's not just nuts and bolts, and frankly, it's not just plasma. It's all of it at the same time. I think we're potentially evolving. Maybe we're at the techno-singularity. Maybe that this is a dimensional shift in nature that we're experiencing, and all of this is like a mismatch of thoughts as we navigate this bumpy terrain together. However, one thing's incredibly important to me: that these voices get out, that those that have information can get their testimony to researchers. And AI is the only way to do that. So we're proposing an online platform that uses webcam capabilities to scale and ingest testimonies from both experiencers as well as those that have first-hand information and feel comfortable sharing that. More to find on the links below. Beyond that, I'm launching an experiential series called Night Under the Stars, where you can come and experience exactly what happened at Escalate Institute last year, where Ross Coulthard gave testimony of my experience where blue orbs came and interacted with us. I'm not doing this to further UAP research. I'm doing this to further research within ourselves. I think if we all open our hearts and explore meditative practices, the phenomena seems to engage with us. But what does that mean? I don't know, but we should be looking there together. We should be bringing sensors. Maybe we don't need a masculine militaristic edge trying to control what is the next leap for humanity. Maybe we should take a different approach and ask the phenomena, what's going on here? And lastly, I'm launching the Telepathy Center, where I hope to bring together those on the concepts of spirituality, consciousness, as well as research, and put all of these different ingredients into the same chamber and see if we can rapidly scale together our understanding as well. I don't think we're just missing physics. I think there's a culmination of things all along the way that we need to begin taking a look at. And some of that's in ancient esoteric traditions. Some of that's in our religious frameworks. Some of that's in spirituality, and some of that's right here. We in the Western world need to take a different approach to how we look at this. And I challenge everyone, whether you're a legacy program member or not, to use your voice. Don't fall for the falling system, and get out there and make a difference. For those that have been looking at my history and asking some questions, I wanted to share a story. Someone asked me recently if I was actually an arborist or if that was some cover job. The truth is, I love trees, and I really was an arborist, a certified one, for many years. In fact, in consciousness research, there's so much gleaning of telepathy actually within fungal networks of trees. We should be looking there. We should be bringing scientists out to not only nature as we question the stars, but also our own hearts as we question our own spirits. I'll leave you with a picture of one of my favorite trees. Maybe you've seen it before.
Oak tree.
My name's Jordan Jozak.
Oh, and he didn't tell us what kind of hell a tree it was. Boo! I think it's an oak tree. Let's zoom in. Can we take a look and see? I don't know. It's a big old tree that's been around for a while. Maybe it's an oak, maybe it's not. Either way. Conversation kind of went a little bit differently than I had thought, Laura.
Well, listen, I just want to say real quick, Gene, I think you and I are on the same page with this, but I'm not going to share my opinions publicly on this at this point. But I think you and I are seeing this pretty clearly from our side of things.
Oh, sure. Leave me out of this, bozo. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm right.
I almost was going to go find my backpack and bring out my wads of cash and start flipping out the dollars as we were listening. So
then I think the three of us are on the same page. This is sounding very much like a big grift, and it's got all the telltale signs, which is why Gene and I are amused at listening to him talk.
And it was a well-rehearsed, coming from a prompt or whatever it was, speech. It doesn't feel like it was just like given on the fly.
Sure.
No.
I mean, it included everything. It was emotional weaponization and dragging you in through, taking you on the journey through the childhood traumas and regurgitating stories that, resonate, that everyone can say, oh, this sounds like, oh, it's still ongoing, and all the rest of it. And then, yes, quite the leap from the government is secretly doing horrifying things to children who have no capacity to even verbalize the horrible things that they are being done. We seem to have fucking forgotten all about that and went right into
the cell,
my meditation center. But what about the children? What happened to the children?
What do they get put through? Why was it so horrible? Right?
Again, I would have thought the thing out of all of this would be, let's rescue these children and let's get. But that's totally an afterthought. That's, fuck those kids.
It went right to the Stephen Griff CE5. Book your reservations early. Right to the bank account. To the grifting. Hard. Hard.
I guess it comes down to the events. Is there a charge? Is there a fee? Et cetera, et cetera. Where does it go from there?
Not free, Thomas. I guarantee that.
I guess especially if there are classes that you have to take before it to make sure you're understanding and you can maximize your meditation.
Fuck yeah. It's all about the bank account. Where's the money? Show me the money.
Well, sometimes it comes down to if this is what he wants to do full time. And he has skills and he can potentially do guided meditations and train people to get them to where they need to go from his experience. It could be beneficial to a lot of people.
Sure. And what is he officially trained in? Oh, trees. Come down and hug a tree for a low, low price of admission.
Well, that was a prior job. Hey, just like Mike, some people used to be, a short order cook in a food truck, but you never know where their talents are going to take them.
Right to grifting as hard as they possibly can from the public. We see it time and time again.
And leads us to the age-old question, Mike. If a tree doesn't want to be hugged, is that assault?
Yep. And if you pay for it, Does that buy you the permission to be hugged by that tree or not?
Right. It's tree prostitution.
That's right. So he's a tree pimp. New term, Gene, but it works. Whatever applies. This story, it took a turn south real quick, Thomas.
Yeah.
We're in old familiar territory, but definitely not in a good place at this point.
And that seemed like it when I looked at his X profile. That's from October.
Uh-huh.
So it's been trying to make its way to the light of day for some time.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like a lot of people are interested to coughing up the cash to participate. I wonder why. It'll be an unsolved mystery, I think, moving forward.
You think?
No,
Oh, Calgary,
I think people
I'm
have
sorry.
common sense.
I'm sorry.
That's why they're avoiding it like the plague.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Mike. Now jumping into some other stories of what we've got going on out there.
Oh,
I was
thank
wrong.
God.
I'm sorry. It's not Alberta. It's Calgary.
There we go.
Calgary. I'm going back. I thought I bookmarked a lot of this stuff last night. As I was looking at some of the stuff even yesterday and retweeting it. I just have to go to my retweets on this because this is interesting to say the least. So let's go ahead and bring this up, desktop, Thomas. All right. So this was the 10th, 2 days ago. This is Saturday night. Coming from The Voice in Calgary, line up for freedom. Albertans weren't waiting were waiting for hours because their voice matters. Independence isn't a slogan. It's a choice. So there was some signing events where they're going to go ahead and have a referendum, apparently in order to go ahead and for, what do you want to call it? Alberta to succeed from and get it on a referendum to be brought up for vote against all the people who live there. It's going to require 177,000 signatures in less than 30 days. So they've had a bunch of events, and every event, the first events they had, Mike, that were going on a couple of days ago, they were expecting a couple hundred people to come in, but they had thousands of people coming in and lining up because they've had enough.
Well,
Not
I guess
surprising.
we're going to have to watch and wait and see where it goes. If they could do it in that time frame or not, Thomas.
Yeah. Well, they're saying at this point, or at least they're thinking, it's not going to be a problem to get the people to come out and to go ahead and do it. There's more than enough people who are fed up with the, if you want to call it government, if you want to call it national leadership in Canada, that they want out. Alberta puts a lot more money in every single day than what they're getting back out for their people. So they look at it, it's an opportunity for them to go ahead and, liberate themselves and get out of this tyranny and a national liberal government that they just don't align with. It's normal.
I hope they're successful in their endeavors.
From what I remember in the past, Toronto has gone in the past, and they almost made it. And what was it, 6-8 years ago? I think maybe more. Mike Sokoloff.
Yeah.
But it was really close.
Michael should be in the back.
Oh, I know. This may not be a topic that he wants to talk on.
Oh, probably not. I would
All
say
right,
he lives there. There's no way in hell.
Oh yeah, different area.
He's
I want to get to
out of the back right now.
He's not. Interesting.
Nope.
All right, so let's get back to interview for a second. I want to go ahead. I've got a bunch of different things to go ahead and bring up and cover tonight. We've got that one going on. Where in the hell was that?
Don't forget to mention the new president of Venezuela.
Here we go. No, well, we'll be getting there soon. Yeah, the new president of Venezuela, Donald Trump. Oh, my God. Talk about bad taste. But you know what he's doing? He's doing it to go with the frickin' Democrats.
Oh, he is. And it's going to work, too. They're going to protest.
Oh, my God. And my next trick,
Yep.
I'll go and get the Democrats to support a vicious dictator. And they follow along. Oh my God. Just got to laugh sometimes. You know, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not if you want to call a MAGA kind of person. I am a little bit, but not really, because I'm kind of in the center of this. But I just love whenever he's in office, you have the Daily Trump show and it just freaks the other side out. Oh my God. All right, here we go. Let's get to this one. This one's interesting. This is showing Alberta's fiscal case for independence. A detailed look. Federal taxes paid is between $68 and $75 billion annually, yet coming back to Alberta, they're only getting $21 to $28 billion annually. So there's a lot more money they're getting taxed, but you can see it's the uneven scales that they're getting screwed in the end. What else do we have? Number 2, total federal taxes. Where's their money coming from? Personal income tax, 47% of the people. We send 68 to 75 billion a year in total federal taxes. Again, there's that 68 to 75. Their taxes going in. What's coming out? Number 3, personal income tax. They contribute between $32 and $37 billion a year in personal income tax and corporate income tax. $10 to $11 billion they contribute. They contribute in GST, which is national sales tax, $9 billion annually, and the EL and CPP federal taxes, another 15 to 17 billion. So even if they go ahead and, Mike, if they go ahead and succeed in succeeding, coming out of it, Alberta as a country is going to do well. You know, one of the things that someone in the back, and he's not here right now, brought up, he said, what about funding, taking that money and funding and paying for Nova Scotia? But then what do you say? What about Nova Scotia? It's that whole, I guess, socialist approach towards it. It's a little bit of money for the sum, you tax a bunch more, and then you can pay for a lot more things.
Yeah, but Alberta is the one that's getting screwed out of that money right now.
Yeah. So what is their advantage? Let me just download this and bring it up really quick. I can bring it up better this way. Bring this up. Oh, fucking, I can't. Here, I can scroll it this way a little bit more. Here we go. What is the advantage? By retaining these billions, Alberta could run a surplus of anywhere from 29 to 48 billion in a year. Reduce taxes by up to 46% with a huge tax cut. Invest directly in local growth, infrastructure, and public services. I guess we'll see how it goes. So
they
that's
would
what
benefit if they did that by a lot.
Yeah. Oh heck yeah! But that's what's going on up in Canada now. Flipping on the. Oh, let me get into here. Bookmarks again. Jumping to the other side of the world. We've got crazy shit going on over in Iran right now. Now, this is where there are protests going everywhere in the streets. People are supposedly being gunned down by the Iran National Guard. They've had enough. United States has told everyone over there to go ahead and basically shelter in place or get the hell out of there. As we amass our B-2 Spirits, our B-52s, we have refueling planes already staged over the area. It seems like they're just waiting for a go.
Well, they've killed thousands of their own citizens already, the regime that's in place. And Trump is saying that he's not going to sit by idly while these people are being murdered, and he wants to use this to take out that regime.
Really quick, who put that regime in power years ago?
The United States.
Oh, so they're going in there and cleaning up their mess finally of what they unleashed on their own people and the rest of the world for that matter.
Well, That's what it seems like. They got the Shah of Iran
Yeah.
out of there in 79. Then they took the hostages, and that cost President Carter the election
Oh, yeah.
that year. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a lot going on at that time. And now we're paying the price for it. And it's, 46 years later.
Yeah. True,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And it's
Something
just
that never should have happened.
massive protests everywhere. Yeah, I'm cutting off the audio, some of the stuff, because there's just some things going on. Yeah, it's they've shut down now internet communications for the entire country to the outside world for the last 100 hours, and it's still going. They're trying to get Starlink up and going, but they are doing some jamming going on, Mike. It's active.
They are doing jamming, but Elon managed to turn the internet on for the receivers, people in Iran, who could connect to Starlink. So,
well, yeah, they're actively jamming Starlink right now. That's part of the problem.
I have a feeling if there's military strikes that we're going to conduct, that jamming will stop pretty quickly.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get it out there. But meanwhile, in the United Kingdom, let's get to this. All right. So, yeah, there are over 30,000 people who are out protesting in the United Kingdom, downtown London, for support of Iran. It's just a shame the media and everybody else isn't covering a lot of the stuff that's going on internationally with this.
When you say that they're trying to support Iran in the UK, because the UK is very touchy.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the citizens of Iran, or are you talking about the government regime that's in power?
No, I'm talking about the citizens in Iran right now.
Well, because with the UK, you never can tell.
Yes.
There is a very strong
Well,
element.
this isn't like we have the Palestinian people out there who love Hezbollah, who are going and protesting against Iran because the current regime is pro-Hezbollah.
Right. That's what I was asking.
Right.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this is something that they're trying to support the citizens with. All right, good. Because that could have gone the other way pretty goddamn quickly.
Oh, yeah. And it's a mess, but here's another one. This is a cool video that I saw. Bring it up. All right. So, yeah, we've got B-52s. We've got the B-2 Spirit. Why would they would have the SR-71? That's just probably showing them what we've got going. But yeah, we've got our B-52s are over there right now. This is the B-2 bomber, but we have the B-2 Spirit. Over half our fleet is in Diego Garcia right now, waiting for instructions to launch. We have our big tankers right now. They're all surrounding the airspace of Iran right now. So what does it tell you?
That if there's going to be military operations and airstrikes, they need refueling capability.
I don't think we're going to go in on the ground. Well, like we did last time, or like we did down in Venezuela. That was minor ground action. They're going to go in, do what they're going to have to do, and get the hell out again.
Right.
Because isn't there a threat right now from Iran against Israel as well? And they've got Iran supposedly has 400 ICBMs that they're ready to launch to go against Israel, and that could be part of it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, talked about this earlier. Well, this could be wrong. This is the video that was going around today. Mexico's mobilized 300 troops from the Campeche battalion, sending them to the southern border to potentially safeguard them from the United States. Mike.
Yeah.
Aside from the president of Mexico today siding with the cartels and saying they're just cartels. They're not terrorists.
Oh, yes, they are.
For what they're bringing to the country? Absolutely. Organized crime, she called it.
Yeah.
But do you think we're really going to go in on the ground if we go after Mexico, if we go after the cartels?
No. It's going to be an air war.
Well, of course. We're going to come in,
way.
drop a bunch of different stuff up, blow a bunch of stuff up everywhere, and then just let these guys go and clean up the mess. Oh. Oh. Meanwhile, Minneapolis.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, this is just someone out there. It's not the good stuff. All right. More stuff in Iran. Is this the good one?
They just throw gas and move?
Not that one. What else? Come on. I know. Here we go. Yes. They are organized. They are paid. They are terrorists. Mike, should they be treated as such?
Yes. They should.
So they're obstructing federal officers. They're impeding operations, which are federal charges, right?
They are. It's federal jurisdiction.
So should they be going then, and rather than just doing a certain level of tolerance, should they be going ahead and dealing with it? Daryl Zernick, if you're in the back, we watch a lot of these videos all the time from local police departments, and this shit wouldn't fly with the police, would it?
No.
No.
This would be inciting a riot.
No. And
This would be disturbing the peace, obstruction of justice. The list goes on. These people would all be arrested and charged.
yeah, if not shot, some of them shot. I mean, you see people getting shot by the cops all the time
Right.
for doing a lot less.
Right. But if you are okay, people in the audience are saying, but taking pictures on a crime. If your closeness is impeding the operation, you need to get out of the street. You need to go ahead off to the sides of the operation, give the officers the ability to get this stuff done, because I haven't even played the audio on this.
Drive around our city with machine guns asking kids, you may be a Nazi. In fact, I think you
It's just craziness. And it's accelerating. And I believe, Mike, you had brought up earlier today that they're surging additional, 1,000? Not National
1,000
Guard,
federal
but
agents.
additional
Federal
CBP troops to
And Homeland Security is going
and
in.
Homeland Security to Minneapolis.
Yep. Well, that's going to be a clash with federal troops and local government.
Yep.
And once that happens, we really are at the beginning of a second civil war in this country.
Well, let me just read this, how it's written up. Cool video, but Minneapolis, Minnesota is under Trump regime occupation. At least 3,000 regime forces are terrorizing the city, raiding homes door to door without warrants, and grabbing people and children off the street based on their skin color. Well, wait a minute, Mike. You see how they spell color there?
That's English. That's UK
English,
color.
like United Kingdom or Australia. No sign of the Minnesota National Guard. Yeah, they're getting called in. They're going to be. Where are you from?
Anonymous.
No, it should say where they're from.
Go down. What is this? Because I have a.
No, it
internet.
doesn't
just says
say internet. Join September 11th. North America. But they can't be from the United States because they wouldn't spell color that way.
You could put on X your location, and you could choose from a list.
Well,
So
you
it doesn't
can
matter what
come
it
in with a
says.
VPN, is what it comes down to. So,
I could go into my profile on X right now, and
Yeah.
I could change it that I'm in Iran, and my
Yeah.
profile will reflect that.
yeah,
It's voluntary. It's not
yeah.
actual.
Jumping back to Iran a little bit, funerals for fallen Iranian protesters turn into anti-regime rallies. Well, they're not going to show anything that's going on. There are a lot of people who are there for these funerals, and they're not happy at this point. Mourning the dead. So this is the kind of stuff you're not going to see anywhere else. Granted, it's blurry. You're getting an idea of what's going on behind the scenes. in Iran, even over at the war zone. They call it world waits for Trump next move on Iran as protests grow deadlier. They say, it's hard to say, Mike, how many potential people have been taken out yet. Some people are saying hundreds, some people are saying thousands. Eventually the truth will come out. But wait, we got tear gas back in the United States again. And where all these people come from so quickly?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know what all these people are doing on the goddamn street.
They all have whistles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And noisemakers and everything else, and they've got their chants and everything they're doing. It's almost like they're running from a script. Yeah. Crazy times. What else we've got going on? We saw that one with Michael Jackson running around. We've got that one over here. We've got that one. We got the Mexico ones. No. We got Iran. Oh, yeah. We got to talk about this one, Mike. A couple days ago, Eric von Däniken, I'm sure everybody has heard so far, has passed.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah, the guy from Ancient Aliens. The one who wrote Chariots of the Gods, got a lot of the conversation going, talking about the ancient astronaut theory. Rest in peace, my friend.
He was a very prolific author on the topic.
Right, okay. I've got that.
Big in the 70s. He was big in the 70s, Chariots of the Gods.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Jumping back around like I have been, I've got a interesting communication coming from the U.S. virtual embassy in Iran. Let's go ahead and bring this one up. Where am I at? I think I should be able to show it here. So this is the one where it says event protests across Iran are escalating and may turn violent, resulting in arrests and injuries, increased security measures. Road closures, public transportation disruptions, and internet blockages are ongoing. The government of Iran has restricted access to mobile, landline, and national internet networks. Airlines continue to limit or cancel flights to and from Iran, with several suspending service until Friday, January 16th. U.S. citizens should expect continued internet outages, plan alternative means of communication, and if safe to do so, consider departing Iran by land or Armenia or Turkey. Actions to take. All uppercase. Leave Iran, or all in red. Leave Iran now. Have a plan for departing Iran that does not rely on U.S. government help. Of course not. If you cannot leave, find a secure location within your residence or another safe building. Have a supply of food, water, medications, and other essential items. Avoid demonstrations, keep a low profile, and stay aware of your surroundings. You want to monitor local media for breaking news. Be prepared to adjust your plans. Keep your phone charged and maintain communications with family and friends to inform them of your status, and enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program to receive the latest updates in security on Iran. Man, Mike, it sounds like it definitely it's a mess there for anyone who's from the U.S.
They should go to the closest U.S. embassy as soon as possible. The only way they'd be safe.
Oh, gosh, yes.
But now Turkey, that's an ally of the U.S., is now making statements today that they don't want the U.S. to get involved directly with what's going on in Iran. That's a little suspect, in my opinion.
Well, doesn't Turkey have technology from us and the Russians? So they play both sides of the fence?
Yes, they do. That's been going on since the Cold War.
Yeah. That is a mess. Oh, yeah. And by the way, ICE takes everybody out, even ICE, Mike.
Yep. That's right.
Clearly someone who's not used to running around in Chicago. Let's see that one more time. At least cameraman's right there to go ahead and catch it. My goodness.
He went right on his ass.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, my friend. Wow, a bunch of stuff going on. You know, I do have some UFO stuff here. If I keep on scrolling past all the doom scrolling I've been getting. Here we go. Well, then forget about those people getting wiped out from that. We don't need to see that. Here we go. Here we go from our friends from Denmark. Breaking. The U.S. House, Mike, introduces a bill to annex Greenland and grant it statehood. The document authorizes the president to annex or purchase Greenland from Denmark to control the Arctic. If approved in both chambers and signed by the president, the bill will become law.
The 51st state. Can you imagine?
He could be the king of Greenland, the president of Venezuela, and the Shah of Iran.
Yeah. It all seems to be going in that direction.
Oh, yeah, and the CEO of the Kennedy Center.
Yeah, but he had all these different offices all covered with gold. There'd be a common theme between all of the ventures.
But even if we get Greenland and turn it into the 51st state, it's a frozen hellhole.
Yeah.
That place. It's nothing over there worthwhile.
Oh, there is underground. There's a bunch of minerals and other kinds of stuff we never realized is all under that ice. We just need to go ahead and force it to melt by burning all that oil.
Yeah. Except
all right.
It's really not going to be a place you want to go.
When you never thought my grifting was enough.
I know.
No, here we got another one. What Willa is saying here is true, and it's not just with the mummy story. Sensational claims, true or not, do very well on X and YouTube. Being skeptical or presenting evidence that refutes those sensational claims does not. The American Alchemy's mummy documentary they did got 904,000 views. His incredible history rebuttal video only got 5,500 views. Wow. No wonder why there's so many people on on YouTube that are pushing the mummies. And that's why we're not doing good. We haven't been pushing the mummies, Mike, to go for monetization, clicks, and views, and to get in viewers and pipe them bullshit.
Right, but that's because you and I don't feed the public bullshit. We stay away from it. That's why we don't cover it.
Oh, I know.
It's been debunked, and we're not going to make the audience think, oh, look, clickbait. Come and listen to this nonsense. We don't do that. We play it straight.
Oh, a bullshit artist.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, there was one thing we went over. They had all these different examples, showed how that Maria was potentially, killed. Great orchestration.
Yeah. But it was debunked.
Yeah.
And we know that. So we don't go there.
Bones in the hands were put together from the wrong fingers.
Right.
And it all looked like it all came together, I guess, by soaking this stuff and making it more pliable. They can get this stuff to go exactly how they want. Aren't they making like $1 million a body on this stuff?
It's disgusting, Thomas. That's why we don't touch it.
Yeah. No, you don't.
Right.
No, for a video that goes around 100,000 views, it pays. So, no. The numbers are calling out their racket. Either way, people who are going and putting out those videos where he's get almost $1 million, Mike, that's probably like 20,000 grand, if not more. Minimum for a video like that.
You're right. Yeah.
So people are taking it. They're pushing it out there. What else we have? All right, this one's interesting from Richard Gelrich over in the UFO land. A list of intelligence reports produced by the Office of Scientific Intelligence from the CIA from 1949 to 1953, Mike. Note, there are still redactions today, even 50 years later, that they're not giving us the full answer on. Go figure.
No. Well, we know that even 50 years later, they're not going to give us the right answer. But Australia did, because they investigated this and they gave us the answers.
Right.
So we won't get it from our own country, but we'll get it from another country that looked into this. And they can't redact that. And
No.
we know those papers were not redacted.
Yeah.
We covered them here 3 years ago.
Exactly. Where else we at now? Oh, this is a good one. Sorry, I'm jumping around here. Oh, God damn it. Where the fuck did that just go? Did that really just jump out of here? Son of a bitch. Okay. I should... You zoom down. Where's I just at? I saw that one. Sorry, folks. I had it just here, and I was just scrolling through the videos of stuff I have on UFOs because I got. We just talked about Greenland. We got there. Metal's not here, so it's not fun, Mike.
I know.
That's a protest from Iran over the weekend. Gives you an idea. But they all have their phones out, but they don't have internet coverage. But it's local, I guess. Let's get past this. Got that Greenland one. We got that one there. All right, here we go. This is the one.
Get out! Get out! Get out! Go! Get the fuck out,
They're bringing out the flashbangs. They're bringing out the tear gas. They're bringing out the red pepper balls. I mean, just look at all of these people who are out there. Oh, my God. What are they flapping their hands for? Jesus Christ. You know, Mike, I get they're upset, but the reality is there's federal laws in place, right?
Yes.
No, they do have jobs. All these people who are out there do have jobs. They're getting paid to do this, anywhere from $15 to $20 an hour, plus for overtime and everything else, expenses, you name it, they get it. Mike, you know, they're all complaining about this kind of stuff, but
It's not worth $20 an hour to get shot in the face, Thomas.
Yeah. But they're going up against federal laws and acting like those federal laws don't exist when they do. But what they're doing out in the street is actually against federal law by impeding investigations.
Obstruction of justice. It's a long list of crimes that they're committing and not being charged by their local government for. That's one of the reasons this is building to a civil war, just so you know. We have the federal government trying to calm and stop the chaos, and we have the local government, police force, and the mayor and the governor over there that are saying to the citizens,
"Oh yeah, here we go.
Fight ICE."
Here we go. We got some bear spray action.
There we go.
Come up right now. There we go. Huh? That's what he calls out the FA and the FO, Mike.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, you need milk. You know, they could take, you know, Mike, they could deal with importing all that milk from Canada. I think it's like 30,000 gallons a day or so that they're actually dumping. It's crazy. They could bring that down and help the protesters' eyes. Supposedly you put milk into the eyes, it makes it better.
Yeah, but listen to me. The spray that they're using is also got the dye on it that you can't wash off that easily.
Yeah.
So even after these people move away, they could still be tracked and arrested after the fact because that dye
Actually,
is going to be all over their face.
Japan has a better way. When they get out there and there's protests going on, they bring out the water cannons, Mike. Like you'd have like from a fire department, but they're like, you know, even stronger setup that they go and hit the people with. Not only is a water cannon, it's also dyed.
Well, and it doesn't wash off that easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should start employing tactics like this to really get these people off the street.
You know, Mike, I hate to say it. Is this insurrection? Gene, what do you think? Is this insurrection?
This is absolutely textbook insurrection, actually.
Yeah.
But, you know, by law, you know, listen, I know people have, you know, their varying beliefs on and things like that, but I'm sorry, if you don't see how this is organized and structured and funded and you know, coordinated to happen, you are a special kind of stupid.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry.
You know, some people are saying it's legal protests, but legal protests only goes so far. You're allowed to protest in a controlled manner at places you go ahead and register for. You can go ahead and march down streets and everything else. But when you're going and impeding federal operations, that's not a protest.
Right. They are leveraging and weaponizing the right of protest. This is not protest, right? Trying to pretend laws don't exist or that authorities don't exist. The narratives that are set up, again, you know, the funding. If you noticed, people, you know, people started questioning and said, yeah, geez, how's everybody getting out there, you know, within, you know, 5 hours with professionally printed signs that are all the same and blah, blah, blah. And so whether, you know, now you see more cardboard signs come out. They, you know, they watch the news. They are monitoring reactions. They are, you know, again, weaponizing empathy, weaponizing the right of protest. And this is something that has been ongoing for decades. Yeah. If you think this stuff
I'll be right back around with Gene, Mike. Go ahead.
Organic and suddenly, you know, coming out of a rise, again, I'm sorry, but, you know, this is how, this is strategies that have been conveyed, you know, in intelligence communities and in, you know, by foreign governments to disrupt American society. And they don't think in, you know, 1 year or 4 year terms. They've been thinking in 10, 20, 30-year terms on how to begin to change that tide. And you know, people get embedded in all the rest of it. And you know, you're right in the sense that they are attempting to push this, and you see it and you hear it in the rhetoric of the state and political leadership. They want to push a violent confrontation with the federal government, and that's what they're going to be happy. And the sad part is, it is stupid and easily manipulated people that are going out and getting sucked into this ideology and getting sucked into the idea that they're not protesters. I saw this on another, there's a guy he's sort of a MAGA artist now, but he was talking about his days as a protester. And, you know, when he got stopped by the cops, he put his hands behind his back. He went to jail. That was all part of it. And one of the comments about the woman who was recently killed was she wasn't a protester. She was a revolutionary, right? This is beyond ideology. This is anarchism. And there are groups embedded in these communities that began with the migrant surge that, you know, they appear that they're being, you know, welcoming, and they would have, clothing drives and food nights and come in and have a meal. And they would take people into another room and they would start teaching them skills. They would have skill sharing nights like weapons use, photography, all of these things.
So we have like communists from outside of the country coming in, employing, training these people, essentially brainwashing them to turn against their own country.
Absolutely. And again, this has been decades in the making. It's all the use of narratives, right? And that word is so part of our lexicon now. And there's actually probably a generation now that has never not known the word narrative in the news cycle, right? Prior to 2000, mid 2000s or early, maybe 2010, let's say, I'll pick a random. No, even earlier than that, narrative was not part of the news cycle lexicon. Right. But what they discovered was narratives resonate emotionally with people. And when something resonates emotionally, then there is no fact that can counter that emotion. And so people then begin to identify and it resonates with them and all those terms that we use now. This is actually a strategy. This is what they learned from Islamist extremism. How do they get young boys to go, strap bombs to their chests and walk through things? It's the narrative.
Because they get told they don't have to participate in Kandahar Thursdays. Or even the ducks fly in the air upside down.
Exactly. And, and we have lost critical thinking skills. And people are so embedded in their ideology and in their virtue signaling and everything else that they have built their social circles around and their communities. And that's why the anger comes when those get challenged, because it's not you're not just challenging the idea anymore, or you're not just asking the person to explain their idea and rationale. You're challenging their core identity that they believe in their heart, and they can't reconcile it, so they lash out with anger. That is exactly what is happening.
Yeah.
But these people are putting their freedom at stake for $20 an hour, or maybe potentially losing their life. This is going to escalate because the government, the mayor and the governor of Minneapolis, is talking about engaging local troops and law enforcement against federal troops. Well,
right. And yes, they'll do it for 20. Listen, 20 an hour is probably more than they were making to begin with. These are anarchists. They do not care left or right. They just want no system whatsoever. And the problem is that the socialist Democrats have essentially had been using the anarchists and anarchist networks and methodologies to advance social democrat policies, thinking that the anarchists would be happy with that, but the anarchists would ultimately turn on them as well, because they want no government, they want no structure, they want everybody.
That's what's been going on in Portland.
Laws.
They're against the Republicans, they're against the Democrats, they're against the independents, they're against anything that stands forward, no matter how it is in our current government. That's what Antifa is about.
Right. And and they use that, and and the right to the consent. There is no centralized Antifa. It is a combination of all of these small groups, and it goes from the John Brown Gun Club, which is supposedly the LGBTQ plus,
TIA plus. I tell you, the LGBs kind of saying "fuck you" to the rest of everybody else. Just saying.
Exactly, and for. For the longest time, I, never counted mainstream media as part of my, core information. And even today, I still don't. I still go to much more, neutral, analytical pieces to understand, the motivations behind things, because this is all just made for TV.
Yeah.
And, and that's why they do it. Nobody would be out there if there wasn't cameras. Nobody. Not a one of them.
Here's a good one. She threw a water bottle, I believe, a projectile at she threw a water bottle at DHS and thinks they're going to get away. Dun, dun. I wish we could get the camera footage directly from their chest. You know what I'm talking about, Daryl. Damn.
Yeah, body cam footage.
Body cam footage, yeah.
I think they do end up catching this.
They did right there.
She's like buried in the snow pile. Yeah, right there.
She's got a nice pair of Uggs.
Again, Mark's safe from ice today because I'm not doing stupid shit.
Don't worry about it. You don't need to. Eating snow, yeah. All right, what else we got going on? I'm just searching for Minneapolis today. Oh, here's a schmucktard. She has some spicy things to say about ICE.gov mission in Minneapolis. She recorded this video in uniform deliberately. ICE doesn't have law enforcement authority, she says. They murdered Renee Good, and I believe they did track down who she is. So,
well, yeah, she's going to be. Yeah, that's right. I was just going to say that she's going to be court-martialed.
Yeah.
The Navy, it looks like. Yep.
Well, they found out exactly where she is, which base she's at. That's out there, and I'm sure they've tagged Pete Hegseth. We know he's on X. They'll find that one. All right.
No, she's definitely going to be court-martialed. That's done.
Oh, here's a title on this one. Got a load of this one. ICE agents detain a U.S. citizen legal observer in Minneapolis, smashing his car window, dragging him out, and placing a knee on his neck and conduct banner banned under Minnesota after James Floyd. Here's the thing. They tell you get out of the car. They tell you open the door. And if you don't open the door, you don't get out of the car, they will break that window wide open.
They'll open the door for you.
And they will open it and they will pull your ass out. You better be a face on the ground, hands behind your back. Otherwise, they will put you there. And if you're not doing it, it's called resisting. That's another charge.
Why do they have to open the car door?
Because they have to get out.
So why?
So that's a lawful order. That's a lawful order.
It's a lawful order from a federal officer. You're impeding their investigation. If they tell you to open that door and get out of the car, you must comply. Otherwise, you're in violation of federal or local laws. It's the law, Sarah.
Mexican,
it's the law in all 50 states. It's the law of the land.
And if you don't open the door,
to me.
No. It's the law. And if you don't open the door, we'll open it for you. Trust me.
Okay. Daryl and I have an addiction.
You're not
watching Arrest Cam, a bunch of other videos. If you saw the feed I have on YouTube, let's see if I can find if it's actually going to show it.
I'm talking about law enforcement, sir. You're ordered to get out of the car and open the door. You have to comply. And if you don't, you will be forced to. That's the law.
Well, let's take a look here. We got wannabe guy meets no nonsense cops. Oh God, you gotta find some Karens who don't want to open the doors, and they are just so fucking stupid. Oh my God! But there's just a bunch of videos out there you can watch coming from municipalities across the United States. So some of the best stuff is either out of Wisconsin or out of Florida.
Yeah.
All the best shit stories in Florida, and there's some crazy stuff. But you'll see this time and time again. It's law, and people say that's against my rights. You can't go ahead and do that.
Hey, Thomas,
and it's like
you said Karens, but I don't think you know what Karens are.
No, it's not the
That wouldn't
parents'
be a
fault.
parent
It's
or
the
or
school's
the ones
fault.
that call the cops on everyone.
As part as part of high school, they should teach you how do you go ahead and walk and do all the different shit if they pull you over, right? They should teach you that, and also what are all the laws in civics. So if you do get pulled over, you know what the fuck you're gonna do, right? And if they teach all of the kids that basic stuff, it's going to take a lot of the shit that it goes on and just get rid of it, because people then know what their rights are and what they aren't.
So if a cop pulls you over, you should just automatically comply, is what you're saying.
Yes,
Even
100%.
If they unlawfully pulled you over.
Yes.
If the cop gives
That's
you a
the most
lawful order,
retarded stuff I've ever heard in my life.
if the cop,
if a
cop pulls you over, right, and he has any kind of reasonable suspicion, he does not have to tell you that.
There you go. There's a difference when you use that and just
But
say.
no, if he
cop
has
just
any
pulled
kind of
you over.
reasonable suspicion or any way, he
you go.
can
That sounds
order you
much
out of
better.
the
That sounds a
car
lot better.
and legally detain you for him or her to complete their investigation. And if you
I like
refuse
the way you said that a
to,
lot better.
you are
You're making it sound like
obstructing.
you should just comply no matter what. But
Right. Otherwise, you're obstructing, and you're going to commit a felony.
No, sir. If you're twisting his words. Okay. When you receive your driver's license, right? Driving is a privilege. Driving is not a right. And as part of that privilege that has been afforded you with your driver's license comes the understanding that there are police officers out there who conduct traffic stops.
But if you're down in Florida, Daryl, and you say you're traveling and you're a sovereign citizen, you're doubly fucked. Go ahead, Gene.
Right. So when you are stopped when the police attempt to stop you, okay, whether you believe they are justified or not is not an issue for debate.
No.
You stop the vehicle. You comply with what you're being asked for.
100%.
Your driver's license, etc. If, as Thomas says, the officer might have additional probable cause, all the, and all of those things go step by step. And at the completion of that, they hand you a ticket or whatever. If you don't agree with that, then you go to court and you have your position heard in court on why all that was an illegal stop from the beginning, right? And you express and you justify that in court. What these people are trying to do and what they are trying to encourage other people to do is litigate in that moment against the cop with no judicial process whatsoever. That you can just decide what you think your interpretation of the law is in the moment in which you are, and that by your own interpretation, you are judge and jury on what is lawful and what is not.
In other words, anarchy.
In other words,
that's fine, but you don't speak on all the states, because in California that's not how it works. They actually
It is. I've seen plenty of videos of California as well.
If you get pulled over, you have the right to ask the police officer why they pulled you over.
And they will tell you.
If they don't tell you,
I suspect you are drunk. I saw you driving in this particular manner. I don't believe you're able to go ahead and conduct yourself behind the wheel. They'll come up and they'll state what it is, or you know what, your license is suspended. The registration on your vehicle is invalid. They'll come up and tell the people exactly what it is, but when it comes time for them to get out of the car.
yeah, but they don't always tell you the reason, Thomas. That's why they passed the law.
But
Because they had corrupt officers.
well, all the
pulling people
different
over and
points
not
where I've been
giving them
seeing
any
people
reasons.
going ahead and acting badly, they have been told. They just don't want to listen. They want to keep on talking and talking over the officer to try and get their point across, when they just need to shut up, listen, and comply.
Because
They
what
passed that
happened.
law out here because there was corrupt officers pulling people over, not giving them any reason, giving them a fucking ride in the car, then dropping them back off, basically fucking with people. That's why they passed that law out here. I don't know how it is out there. You guys act like police corruption isn't a real thing. It is out here.
Well, no, you know what,
They have
Sarah?
their own gangs out here.
There's corruption
they did a whole
and criminals
documentary.
everywhere.
So, Sarah, I'm fascinated now with the idea that there were cops in California who stopped vehicles, removed people from the vehicles, threw them in the back of the patrol car,
Yes.
and then just
100%.
random rides.
And fucked with them the whole time. Absolutely. 100%.
I'm gonna look that up and verify that.
But what if there are
You go ahead and watch
municipalities
the
like that?
documentary they did on
Generally,
the
there
police,
are
the
investigations that
sheriff
go on.
police,
Who
they
made
Again,
the documentary?
Yes,
Some
he did a
fucking-
whole documentary on it. You act
but
like
that
you're-
happened
I
here in
don't know,
Seattle.
maybe you're clueless.
There was a bunch of stuff that was going on from the SPD against people that were doing things wrong. A federal investigation came in, gave them rulings, said what they had to do. So, yes, sometimes there are some organizations that go a little bit over the law. But a lot of stuff, ever since George Floyd, where we have these cameras everywhere, it's really difficult to try and pull this shit off because everybody's got a camera. And trust me, we like to watch them. Yeah, it's crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, we're heading towards a civil war, it seems like, in this country. And
Well,
it's not slowing down.
We got
Well,
that.
it
We
won't la-
have.
It won't last long with the dipshits out there in their positions.
No, because Trump
Tell you
has
that
the
much.
ability. Gee, Trump can cite the Insurrection Act, go into these local governments, remove these individuals, and install new people to replace them. He could put an end to this shit very quickly if things escalate to a degree, which I'm sure he will. He already talked about it. It's not going to last, like you said. But it is escalating. So none of this is good for the country or for any of these people. It just isn't. That's why we're covering it.
Yeah.
So that people can see and judge for themselves.
Now,
about
Mike,
everything
they've been
going on right
using
now.
less lethal munitions with regards to like smoke bombs and tear gas and stuff. But there are a lot of stuff they've used in San Francisco. They just use it down in Venezuela. There's a lot of non-lethal weaponry they can actually bring out to start dispersing the clouds. Do you think that may be necessary?
Sonic cannons, things that the military have at their disposal. Yeah, we're well aware. We
Yeah.
covered this. So they could do things to break the crowd up without really seriously injuring them. Do you have the Tim Burchett video?
Let me
That I
find that.
sent
Give me a
It's in
second here.
DMs, yeah.
I know that. Give me a second. I'll play that as I run into the restroom. Let me find this one from you, Mike. Tim Burchett. All right.
Yep.
Bray, let me play this one. Shrink up the window so you can see it. It may loop. Hopefully not. Let's find this. Bring it up. Zoom. All right, here. Let's hear Tim Burchett. I believe this is Tim talking about he's in charge of the Doge Committee, right, Mike?
Yes, he is.
Here we go. Let's listen in. Here we go.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett just leaving the House floor. We had 3 bills tonight. And guess what? I voted against every dadgum one of them. The only bigger travesty, I think, in this country is that Johnny Paycheck is not in the dadgum Country Music Hall of Fame. How does that happen? Google the guy. He's got huge following. Anyway, don't get me started. 3 bills. Remote Access Security Act is by Lawler. It outlaws something that's already outlawed, but it brings in about 8 people. We think at $250,000 a pop. I don't know. It goes anyway. A few $1 million into it with everything. And so I just we got to quit spending dadgum money, folks. Voted against it. Another bill dealt with Africa. Let's see. It was the imports. Let's see. It removed. I'm sorry. I'm losing my place here. Extends duty-free treatment with respect to African nations. That was $1 billion price tag. $1 billion price tag. See you, Luna. The other one was Haiti economic cliff. But
Was it?
I'd recommend that I do all of them tonight. Thank y'all for sending me here. We're broke, $38 trillion in debt. We got to start.
What do you think, Mike?
It's good to see Tim still fighting back against what he believes is overspending and not caving in like everybody else would.
Right.
So I like him.
Yeah.
Life
He's
on
just,
the farm seems
he
to be doing well
he
for him.
wants to get rid of the fraud, waste, and abuse.
He does.
Yeah. Which they don't. Politicians are pushing back in both Minneapolis and Washington State, saying none of these things should be investigated. All this crime, all this fraud, waste, and abuse of the in the daycare systems and other areas, that it should just leave it alone.
Well, you know what? If they want to leave it alone in their state, they can. But the federal government, whose money it actually is going to go in there and find out what's going on.
Thank God.
They're going to investigate.
They should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wants to
That's
pay
why they
taxes to
protested.
have the money stolen? If they're going to allow it to be stolen, why are they charging us for it? Why do they continue to take the money and they're going to let it to be thrown away?
Right.
You know, I need to start looking at these NGOs, Mike, and daycares and other kind of stuff. I may be able to start up another company with Luke here sometime soon. There's lots of opportunities to be made, apparently, pulling in from money from the government and not having to do anything about it.
Well,
have you considered
that's what's
starting
been
up
going on.
daddy daycare potentially?
No, because of what's going on all over the country with this shit. It's not good. And now they're cracking down on all of this.
I know, but
finally.
do a legitimate. You just need to find legitimate money where they're passing through. Actually get the kids in, and the reimbursements are fucking gold. You don't have to steal. You'll still make great money.
Yeah, I know. But everything seems to be going to hell in a handbasket. And none of this is dying down anytime soon. It just isn't.
It's just getting started. It's going to be the year of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year for 2026. I agree with you.
And I think when we come down to the election, it's not like the Republicans are going to turn their head and say, oh, we're not going to vote. We're comfortable. No, it's going to be frickin' vote-mageddon. And let's see if we can get all these different states like Washington State and California and have all these really liberal ways to get people on the voting records when they shouldn't even be able to vote. And they're totally against any kind of, Mike, if you want to buy alcohol,
right,
you have to show an ID.
Yes, you do.
You want to get on a plane, you have to show an ID.
You do.
You get pulled over by a cop, you have to show an ID.
You do. Correct.
So why is it so difficult that you have to show an ID to vote?
It shouldn't be. But here's the problem. You're going to have sanctuary cities and states that are going to comply with illegal immigrants that are in the country.
Yeah.
Like, give you an example, New York City. New York City will issue to an illegal immigrant something called a New York City ID card. Now, they're not documented. They're not here in this country legally. But if they go to the New York City City Hall and file as a resident of the city for a New York City ID with a photo, it's like a driver's license. And they can use it to be identified. And if they wanted to illegally vote, they could meet the requirement for identification with that ID.
Yeah.
Also in California, don't they give driver's licenses to people who are not documented in this country?
Oh,
I believe they do.
in New York, in Washington State, in Oregon, Illinois, all over the place, Mike.
Yeah. So even if you're an illegal alien, they'll still give you a state driver's license in some states, which that would be the minimum requirement to vote. So
And really
that's not going to stop
really
them.
quick, Mike, I want to remind the audience. You're here, you're listening in. You're saying things in the chat. If you want to have a point and make your point, that's why we have you calling, right, Mike?
That's right. You can join the conversation.
Yeah, don't say things that are going to get us thrown off of YouTube, but you know what? It's for a open political forum or just an open forum. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, we're curious about what everybody has to say. And that's why we allow anyone to come up and say whatever's on their mind.
I'm center, a little bit right. I can't say I didn't vote for Obama twice, never voted for Hillary once, have voted for Trump every single time he came up because I wanted the system to be fucked over because it deserved to be fucked over. You have someone who's not part of either party coming in, trying to go ahead and fuck with things we needed to be fucked with. Flat out. The Bushes, I've never voted for any of the Bushes and I never would. Fucking corrupt. Daryl, go ahead. From Indiana.
Just a question. I'm curious. The Winter Olympics are coming up next month. I wonder what a poll would say of the audience if they expect any sort of, I don't know, hate to say it, but terrorist activity.
Oh my God.
About domestic terrorism?
I'm talking
it's going to be in Italy, right?
Talking about, in Italy. I'm just saying
they've had good snow there this year.
What?
They've had really good snow.
Oh, well, that's good. But anyway, that's a place where people tend to make statements. And right now, a lot of people in the world are making statements. Anyway.
Good point. Well, let's mark it on the calendar.
Yeah.
Hey, Laura,
Thanks.
that gives you a target for remote viewing, my dear lady. Is anything going to happen at the Olympics that would be something that's big and
controversial?
Bad? Yeah. Controversial.
I'll write it down.
Thank you. For those who don't know, Laura Campbell is someone who has a lot of experience in being a remote viewing targeter, and she has a bunch of other talents beyond that. And it's a real pleasure to have you part of the show, Laura, for a little bit, for when you're here.
Thank you. I try.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right.
Speaking of polls, do you want to do a quick poll for the audience on how they see the rest of the year shaping up in this country? What's going to happen next?
Okay. I was about to play the song. So a poll is going to be start the poll. And the question is, Mike?
Do they feel that for 2026 that this country could be heading to a second civil war? Yes or no?
Okay, then. Okay, that is really direct. Start the poll. Find a sound effect. The ever-pulsing logo, as it's called. Let me go ahead and bring this up. What does our audience feel? Where are they going to take us? You never know until I can get this other shit off the screen so I can bring it up for us all to see. Oh, wow. Let's bring it up. All right. Out of our viewers we have on the show right now, how many people do I have? Jesus Christ, why isn't this not showing me? 212 viewers. So far, we have 52 votes. 2026, this country is heading towards a civil war. 43% of our audience is saying yes. 58% of our audience is saying no. And this number has been there since we kind of got this thing going. So I'm going to be generous and say, hey, Google, set a timer for 1 minute.
Sure, 1 minute. And we're starting now.
So if you really think that we are heading towards a civil war, audience, you've got 52 seconds to go ahead and make your vote and outvote those people who are saying no right now. So if you want to affect the vote, you have any kind of an inkling that, yes, this country may be heading towards a civil war, but either way, it's really close. It really is. Mike, we already know how you voted. Daryl,
yes.
How did you vote?
No.
No, I don't think so either.
I will say, though, I'd be curious. Another poll, just to see if it aligns with this. Was it murder or was it self-defense?
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh,
Daryl.
that's a
I like
good
that
one. All right. This one's done. We're not going to go anywhere. We stop this annoying sound effect. I know. Let's go ahead and our next one. Let's do this really. Okay, Google, stop. Thank you. Hey, Google, turn off all the lights.
2 lights off.
Fortunately, I had hit my phone right as you said that, and it didn't accept that.
Oh, you're lucky. Sorry, Daryl. I had to do that. Now, where in the hell was I? I was going ahead and we're going to ask another question, start a poll. And what was the poll, Daryl?
Was it murder or self-defense?
There you go.
All right. I didn't say was it. I said it was murder 3R or self-defense. Wow. That's a tough one. All right.
Not for me. It's not tough. It was self-defense.
Yeah. Well, so far, Mike, our audience with 36 votes in, 76% of our audience now up to 42 votes. Our 75% with 45 votes in. There we go. Hey, Google, set a timer for 1 minute, please. Okay, Google, set a timer for 1 minute, please.
Sure. 1 minute. And we're starting now.
You're so fucking finicky. 54 seconds left to go. Well, Daryl, 75% of our audience.
Yeah, that's interesting because
says self-defense. Even Anderson Cooper said he hit her. I mean, she hit him. So
self-defense.
I will say this. I mean, from the very outset, I thought it was self-defense because I've just seen too many videos, and I can send you the links because I looked them up and watched them again.
But what about the wife on the other person who was outside of the car encouraging her and telling her what to do? Should that person be held culpable?
So what I was going to say is I've seen people get shot for less driving at cops, and there was a guy that did that, and I didn't pay attention to this. There is a lot to pick up in, even though those videos were short. But when she started moving forward, the wheels were straight. So if you're the cop sitting in front, you see the wheels straight, and you hear the car gunning. I'm taking my eyes off of the wheels now, and I'm aiming at you.
Right. Did you see the video before the one that they showed the shooting of, where she had her car blocking the street, so people that were trying to drive by had to go around her?
She was doing that all morning.
Yes. And they finally went over to that car to tell her she has to get out of the way or she'll be arrested. And that's when she tried to hit them with the car. So it's definitely self-defense.
But she didn't try to hit him with the car. No one can prove she tried to hit him with the car.
But you can.
You can't disprove it either. The guy was right in front of the vehicle, but he was right in front of the vehicle. Based on the angle of the wheel and where the cop was, there was an intent to go ahead and run into him.
But you keep saying like she had an intention of running into him. That's like saying if I back up.
No, I said based on the angle of the wheel and where that person was standing, right? That orientation would result in that person being hit. Now, it wasn't like going towards it and cranking the wheel hard and making it saying that I'm going to fucking hit this guy and make sure he goes thump under the tires. It was still kind of like a shove, whatever you want to do, with a deadly weapon. That's the problem.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but you guys keep saying she intentionally tried.
No, I didn't say she did. I said based on the angle of the wheel and where the guy was. when the vehicle moved, there was an intention from the vehicle, whether she intended it or not, to hit that guy and do what she was going to do from what her partner was encouraging to do outside the car.
I don't think vehicles can have intention, can they?
Well, no, it's all scientific. It's all angles.
The driver had the intent to get away. She didn't have the intention to hit the officer. That's like saying if I backed up out of the driveway. I know that fucking mailbox is there.
But how do you know she didn't intend to hit the driver? I mean, let's play.
We don't
exactly.
But they told her to. They told her to turn off the vehicle. They told her to open the window. They told her to get out of the car, and then she takes the vehicle and backs up and then charges forward. Even she's trying to get away. If you're being blocked by a person standing there, you can't just go ahead and say, I'm going to get away and go ahead and just run over this person because I want to get away.
Can I say something to that, sir? The wheels were in the direction of an intent that it would hit the officer at that point. Secondly, if you look at her significant other was actively trying to get into the car, but because she had went to reverse and then place it in gear, it locked the doors. So when she went to grab for the handle, she pulled on the door, and that's when she gunned it. So her passenger was actually trying to get into the vehicle at the time that she sped away. So unbeknownst to even her, she didn't think that she was going to take off in that moment, or she would have stepped away from the car. And if you look, she's completely gobsmacked that she took off like that. So when anybody's pissed off, they do things outside of the thought that they were going to. And with her maybe not thinking right and not thinking where the tire or the wheels were, and she thought maybe she had the wheel turn, who knows? But the directional intent of the tires placement made that vehicle an assault on an officer.
It's an old law. Perception is reality. And in that guy's perception, he was about to get run over, in my opinion.
I'll just add this. If that would have been me, a car I thought was getting ready to run me over, maybe it bumped me and I pulled the trigger, I'd be in jail. Plain and simple. It wouldn't be no self-defense. They'd fucking run the investigation. I'd have to sit in a jail cell until they figured it out.
The difference is that guy's still going to be questioned. That guy's still going to go sit through the same proceedings, but he was actively on duty and he was actively carrying out a lawful order. So that does not make him arrested. You're not lawfully shooting somebody as a civilian with a car because unfortunately you don't have the rights to do that at that moment.
Ain't that a bitch, Matt?
You can then become a cop. If you want to protect and serve, then become a cop.
I'm not saying.
We're talking about a vehicle that's 3,000-4,000 pounds in weight against a person who's maybe a couple hundred pounds in weight.
Can I respond to Matt real quick?
Yeah, of course. Go, Syrup.
I said, I shouldn't have to protect and serve in order to keep myself safe.
No, of course, no. You should be able to keep yourself safe. And if you ever get arrested and they give you different orders, you just follow it.
Thomas, why do you keep cutting me off?
I'm sorry.
Not just you, it's everyone. Let me say my piece and then, rebuttal.
Sorry, I'm ADD. I will do that.
No, it's all good, Thomas. It's
ADHD, ADD, whatever. But yeah, go ahead.
Why shouldn't civilians have the same right to defend themselves as law enforcement, whether they're on duty or not? That's the bullshit. They do not. They do not. No, they do not, Daryl.
I'm gonna read this.
Hey, let me finish talking, dude. See, this is what I'm talking about. You guys keep cutting people
off. Let him lecture, and then he can talk. Go.
Yeah, shut the fuck up for a second. Anyways, dude. I swear to God, if I get cut off again, dude, I'm off the show. I'm done with the show. It's getting a little bit fucking annoying. But like I said, civilians should have the same right to defend themselves as any law enforcement officer. It's obvious that the feds and the states have a monopoly on the use of deadly force. It's almost like the states and the feds don't want civilians to be able to protect themselves because they want the civilians to have to rely on them for protection. And that's bullshit. I mean, I
The
guess
reason-
some people dial 911 and other people don't.
I
Well,
can
sir,
tell you
you
I can
get
tell you
to
the reason for that, sir. Because if you are carrying a weapon and licensed by your authority,
It's
your state
passion.
or local authority, under the Second Amendment to the right to bear arms, as a civilian, you are given the minimum requirement for training with the proper use of the law and firearms. Police officers are trained very heavily in that use and the laws that apply. And anytime a weapon is pulled or used, they have to go through a shooting investigation to determine if it was a good shoot or it wasn't. And if it wasn't, then they're going to be prosecuted. That's how it is in all 50 states in this country. Now, that being said, when you are a civilian and you are issued a carry permit, you are instructed that as a citizen, you do not have the same rights that law enforcement would have in the use of that firearm.
No, it's
Meaning,
fine.
even if you're armed and you are facing what you consider to be a threat, as a civilian, you are extremely limited to not be allowed to pull that weapon for your own self-defense. If there's any way that you can remove yourself from the situation and not have to use the weapon, you are complied to leave before you would challenge the attacker in any way. But if you're law enforcement, it's the opposite. You have the responsibility to protect the lives of innocent people on the street around you, and you are supposed to intervene and act. Civilians do not have that right or ability. If you can leave, you have to leave. That's simply how it is.
And the reason that you would, as a civilian, be arrested is the same reason that Mike said that when an officer shoots, there is a shooting investigation. They're investigated just like you. But as a civilian, because of their investigation, they have to detain you in order to do that. Now, you might go through and talk to the prosecutors and all that other stuff, and they look at the case and they say, this is clear self-defense. Guess what? You walk away and you go home free. And it's the same thing with a police officer. So if you feel that if you were put in that situation and you were to shoot somebody in that same situation.
Yeah, we're getting a little deep here. You know, I think this is a great conversation, though, Matt, as we continue here. And Daryl, you have your hand up if you want to bring this to a close. Matt, I want to bring this to a close. Daryl, go ahead and see what you have to say, and then I'll come back to Mike.
What I was trying to say to Syrup before I rudely cut him off. Sorry.
So now I got to rebuttal 3 motherfuckers. Go ahead.
So no, I think everybody, I think people are saying the same thing, but I had to AI it, obviously. Said the specific legal justification depends heavily on the exact circumstances and the laws of the specific state and locality. But in general, you can shoot a driver in self-defense if you have reasonable belief that your life or the lives of others are in imminent danger of death or serious bodily injury. That was all I was going to say.
And it's pretty straightforward and to the point, Daryl.
Yeah.
So no one is trying to argue the case or what happened, sir. But this is the circumstances that we're reporting on and covering, and this is what occurred. So you're entitled to your opinion, just like we all are.
Yeah.
But then you have to apply the law as well.
And taking a look at the final results, I think I got a screenshot in here somewhere, Mike. I believe we're at the point. Pictures, date modified. Coming from the audience, poll says, let me get this up here. 1 second, back to OBS. Here we go. It was, coming from Daryl Zernick's question, 24% MURD3R or self-defense. So overwhelmingly, our audience, 3/4 of you thought it was self-defense versus the other way. And it's just a matter of just knowing not everybody is from the same belief system, but at the end, we all get together. We're all here to talk about UFOs, talk about both sides of how we see things, and respect everybody about it. Right, Mike?
That's right.
Yeah.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
That's why we do the show. So
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure tonight. It's been one heck of a hoot, one heck of a good time. I want to thank you all for being here to go ahead and hang out. And, we kind of delved Mike into a different kind of topic, but our audience, when we changed over, kind of hung around and was consistent all the way through. We've had a great audience. And, yeah, we're going to have to talk about more about UFOs, but step one in the right direction, I think.
Yeah. It was a good conversation all the way around for everybody.
Yeah.
They're engaged, which is a good sign. And we cover UFOs when there's something to talk about in regards to UFOs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and there should be things going on and other stuff happening, Mike. It's just one of those stuff. If we're going to go ahead and mute Anthony, thank you very much. And Mike, you there?
Yeah, right here.
All right, got your picture back on. All right, Mike, as I usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody, but...
Go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely, and we'll catch you in the flip side. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Or actually, you'll see you on Friday. Take care now. Bye-bye.